Well, we can start just a little bit early. I'd like to appreciate everyone here for being on here. I see you, Team Wisconsin, and I see everyone who's getting onto the replay. It's absolutely phenomenal to see the kind of growth that Ion is doing. And I absolutely love just how much we're doing in the last week. We have products are up. So many products are going all around the world. It's going to be absolutely unbelievable to see all the incredible things that are going to happen in the next few months. And a lot of y'all are learning it by being on these calls, by being on the replays, and so on and so forth. And so we have a lot of absolutely exciting news. We have some new masters who are promoting. And I'm going to talk a little bit about today the recruitment process and essentially how to spend your time in the most efficient way and efficient manner. So that way, as you navigate the emotional roller coaster of building a Ion business or an Infinity One network business, is to essentially get your mind straight and keep productive and not just busy. And what do I mean by that? Well, for example, I just recently sponsored someone named Angel, and Angel Domingo is out of Fresno, California. And I want just to do a little bit of the story of how that actually happened and why I really love working with new people and people who are coachable. My mentor, who's made well over $100 million in affiliate marketing, network marketing, and so on and so forth, they said it best. All we're looking for are people with a burning desire, a willingness to work, and a coachable. I'm going to say that again: a burning desire, a willingness to work, and is coachable. Now, when it comes to people who have a burning desire, willingness to work, and are coachable, you're going to come across a lot of people out there who will essentially tell you everything, that they sound good, it looks good, they're going to build this thing to the moon, and so on and so forth. And you take them seriously, but remember, you always keep going until someone shows you action. So what do I mean by that? If you don't want to get frustrated when it comes to this business and building an organization, you have to remember that you have to spend 1 minute with 100 people, not 100 minutes with one person. And in building this business, you also want to avoid frustration because there's a lot of people who look good, sound good. Everything is going to be absolutely unbelievable the moment that I come in. However, why is it that I have some people who say they're going to do absolutely everything in the world, yet you have a new person come on board within 12 to 24 hours, they're now a master, and so on and so forth? And it's because you have to emotionally detach yourself from the answer, meaning that you trust that they really believe that that's what they're going to do. You trust that they really believe that they're going to build this thing in the world. But whatever it might be in their life, in their situation, which mentally stops them from taking action, then you can't basically force them over the finish line. I'm going to say that again. You can't force people over the finish line. Sometimes it's just their timing. And have you had times in your life where essentially, you believe that you're going to do something, then once you got started or you're almost to that point, you didn't really do anything, or you just lost the will to want to go forward with it. And sometimes later on you say, hey, something happened in my life where I need to do the Ion business, something that I need to do to essentially, I need to create that extra $500,000 a month, whatever it might be. And so sometimes it's just timing for people. You got to love everyone. You're going to have people who come on board and you'd think within the first 24 hours they're going to hit master, yet nothing really happens. And you have some people where they come on board and you didn't think that maybe they wouldn't do much. They're going to say, oh, I'm going to treat this kind of casually. I just want to have some products and so on and so forth. But they hit master within the 24 hours. Why? Because something happened, something triggered in their head. Maybe it's because you invited them to the Ion Facebook group and they got excited to see the effects of the product. They got excited to see essentially all these people being promoted to master and so on and so forth. And it said, you know what? I want to be recognized as master. I want to be recognized for these kind of things. Those are the kind of people you're looking for. Once again, what are we looking for? We're looking for people with a burning desire, a willingness to work, and is coachable. If you want to get frustrated fast, hinge everything on one person coming on board. See, that's not the case. I recommend going wide fast, bringing as many people in as possible. And my mentor taught me a long time ago is that you got to act as if, okay, y'all, act as if the first year, you're the only one who's bringing anyone, any new affiliates, any new customers into the business. Now, that may not be true. You might have people who are coming on board and doing these kind of things. However, act as if that's not happening. Act as if you're the only person doing anything. And I promise you'll get some massive results because of that philosophy. Why? Because you never know who's going to do what. To me, a leg is not a leg, or an organization is not an organization unless it has three masters who are stacked on top of each other. I'm going to say it again. A leg is not a leg until you have three masters stacked on top of each other. That means that there's leadership that are stacked all three. So that way, you have people working together, you have momentum coming in, and all of that. So what do I mean by you never know where it's going to come from? So what I did is that I remember about 2 weeks ago, I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago, our vice president, an incredible vice president, Banny Holcomb and Rachel Holcomb, the power couple, took over the call. And I decided to spend some time. There is a place near my place here in the Philippines called Dr. Wine BGC. And there was a meetup group. And at that meetup group, there was a few handful of people that were there. And we took a selfie and we posted it in the residents group. And you know what? Someone hit me up. They're like, hey, I was a resident here and I wanted to see if anyone does business, invest in other businesses. And I was able to connect with this person. Now, this person also lives and resides in Fresno, California. I was able to have a great conversation, add value. She's never seen anything like this before, wants to get into the influencer marketing, wants to get into the affiliate marketing, wants a change in her life. And after a conversation, brought up Ion, and guess what? Within 24 to 48 hours of her getting trained, not of her joining, but of her getting trained, she hit master right away. And so how do you think that made me feel? It felt great. And, I've had people who've been in direct sales, who've been in affiliate marketing, who say they're going to do a whole bunch of stuff and not do anything. And you know what? That's okay. Remember, this business may not be for everyone, but it's not up to us to prejudge it for them. This person might have a lot of accolades, but we're not going to prejudge it for them. I would, in the beginning, treat everyone essentially the same and, essentially be there for them, take care of them. But you got to ask yourself, who's actually showing you the action? You'd be surprised. Once again, you'd be really, really surprised who takes action in the first 24 to 48 hours, in the first week. Sometimes by being in something for so long, we get a little bit jaded or we get a little bit overthinking. And that's why you'll have some people that don't go out there with reckless abandon. Maybe they have an image. Maybe there's an ego there. Maybe it's like, I'm tired. I don't, I want to do some other stuff and so on and so forth. And so the key is you don't know who's going to do what. So in the very beginning, I would treat everyone essentially the same. Hey, here's what we got to do. Here is the fast start training. Here's the launch training. Can we have 3 new customers or affiliates come on board in the next 24 to 48 hours? And, it's not that difficult. You just need 3 one-time customers. And so that's why I love working with people who I identify as having a burning desire, a willingness to work, and is coachable. We're looking for people with enthusiasm. See, enthusiasm. Have you ever talked to someone that no matter whatever logical argument you can make, they are so excited that they just steamroll through you? They're just like, okay, that's cool. And they go forward. And see, that's the kind of people that you want. You want people who are super excited about Ion. They're non-negotiable, and they want to just go out there with reckless abandon and take over the world, because those are the people who are excited, they're motivated, and they're just going to bring a whole ton of customers on board. Why? Because they believe in the mission of Ion. They believe in what we're doing. I mean, we have everything in place, guys. We have the top 10 product line out there. We have a global payment system that works. We have products that have free shipping. Everything has free shipping. We have every perfect world scenario out there, but now it's up to you to do something about it. And some people will go fast and some people will go slow, and it's okay. We love on everyone. But once again, back to the roots. Spend 1 minute with 100 people, not 100 minutes with one person. Why? It's easy to do this business fast than it is to do it slow. I'm going to say it again. It's easier to do this business fast than it is to do it slow. So for example, say you have somebody come on board and then you have another person come on board. And sometimes I'll say that there's some delayed gratification. Sometimes these are people that you talked to a month ago, 2 months ago, 5 months ago, and finally the timing is right. That's why you constantly have to be following. It's pretty simple. And we're not saying that you're going to be doing this all day. I mean, less than an hour a day is pretty sufficient enough to follow up with people. And as you're adding them to the community is kind of a passive follow-up system in where they're seeing people take success of the product. You're seeing people have success in creating master. And the more they see it, the more they want to participate in their own rescue. They want to participate in their own success. And so that's why it's really important to do this business faster than it's just do it slower. Why? Because say you bring in this person who's done so much in the past and they're huge in what they do and so on and so forth. So they come on board and say, okay, well, I'm getting ready to get ready. Have you ever seen that before? I'm getting ready to get ready. And then the next day you have another person that you personally brought in, and their mom, they love this concept. They just want something, and they're super coachable. Once again, burning desire, willing to work, coachable, high enthusiasm. What's the last letters of enthusiasm? I am sold myself. I'm gonna say it again. I am sold myself. And that person becomes a master right away. Well, that's going to motivate the person who's had all this experience and so on and so forth to do something. It's like, I can't believe it. That person who's never done this before is beating me. Can't believe it. And so you want a little bit of that happening. Why? Because we don't want to be stuck in our comfort zones, y'all. That's the key. We don't want to be stuck in our comfort zones. And sometimes because we have experience or we have ego or things like that, and that's natural. That's a normal course of events. That's sometimes you've done something for so long, and sometimes you don't want to go for day one. But a lot of my mentors, and that's what motivates me. And people ask me, Nate, how are you always keeping momentum? How are you like getting excited again, and so on and so forth? Because I saw my mentors. I have a mentor of mine who made millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they went completely broke. And this is a person who didn't just make millions. I'm talking significant amounts of millions of dollars. I'm talking about seven figures that even me is just unbelievable. Can you imagine making all that and then having to start all over? Some people, they'll just go back on their old newspaper clippings and say, yeah, I used to be a multi-bajillionaire or whatever it might be. But this person, he said, you know what? I am not too good to start all over. I was not too good to go door to door. I believe they were in the mortgage industry when they started over. And then they did it all over again. And that's the best thing about leaders, is that leaders understand that regardless of what happens, that you can rebuild, you can do something, but it's up to you to take action. If it is to be, it's up to me. I'm going to say that again. If it is to be, it's up to me. And too many times we go on old newspaper clippings. I did this 5 years ago. I did that 10 years ago. I did that 15 years ago. Well, that was appropriate for that time, and congratulations on that. But what are you doing now? That's the one. What are you doing now? And so after seeing all these people starting to really come on board, you really see what happens. What will stop motivating you is if you have these people come on board, you have these expectations, meaning that once again, you have to emotionally detach yourself from that answer. Just see who has action, who is doing something with the business, who is showing you by actually putting in customers and putting in affiliates who have product orders. That's it. There's only two ways to really make money with this business. And essentially, it is by gathering a handful of customers and gathering affiliates. If you are constantly doing that, you're constantly doing that over and over again, you will have success in this business. Don't worry about what your upline, sideline, whatever anyone else in Ion is doing. All you got to worry about is what you're doing. Why? Because the more that you go wide, the more you put in new affiliates and new customers, guess what? Anything you do today will affect you 90 days from now. I'm going to say it again. Anything you do today will affect you 90 days from now. So you may not see all the craziness and all the momentum happening in that first week or the second week, but because of the actions you've done, guess what? 90 days from now, you're going to start seeing the results. And so I'm going to actually show you in the next 15 minutes. I just want to get your mind right. I wanted to get your mind right into a recruitment mindset. Why? Because if you know what you know about this company, it's no longer an opportunity, it's a responsibility. As you can tell, I'm jacked up sideways. I'm on fire right now. Why? Because when I see new people get so excited, they're not spoiled. They don't have any other excuses. They're just like, I love what this product does. Thank you for bringing me the Ion opportunity. Why? Because if it weren't for Ion, I don't know what else I'd be doing. People spend money on something weird anyway. What for $99, it's not even fourth of a purse. It's not even dinner nowadays, especially with inflation and all the crazy stuff happening right now. $99 to change your life, guys. That's what I'm talking about. And so when you got go out there, you can't think to yourself, what if this, what if that? You got to think to themselves, $99 may change their life. I'm not talking about just income, but I'm talking about health wise. What if someone was looking for something where they need to lose weight? They needed that motivation. They needed those greens. They needed that collagen. They needed the sleep product because they wanted to sleep more and so on and so forth. What if one of these products is the thing that changes their life? So it would be selfish not to share it. Why? Because all we're doing is we're getting paid to educate people on how amazing the Ion business and how the Ion products work. That's all we do. And we have to do it with a burning desire, willingness to work, and coachable. Everything we teach is easy to do, easy not to do. I'm going to say it again. Everything we do is easy to do and easy not to do. But it's easy to get sidetracked because we have everyone telling us they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and so on and so forth. Let's get back to the basics. Why do I repeat myself a lot? Because eventually one day you're going to be the leader. You're going to be the trainer. And we want to make sure that there's always a lot of simple concepts so that way it duplicates. Meaning that when it comes to the word duplication, it's a little bit of a misnomer. It's really making sure that you have leadership in the organization. It really means that the more you hear it, you become unconsciously competent. Because right now you're consciously incompetent, meaning that you don't know what you don't know. And that's not a bad thing. It's like being a baby in this business. And I teach a lot of basic stuff because so many people want to teach doctorate level information to someone who's a baby in this business, and they have the mindset that's not there yet. And you got to make sure that you get all the basics down. In fact, the basics are the best thing about this is that you don't need to be complicated. Sir Richard Branson, the British billionaire, he said it best. Anyone can make something complicated. Anyone can make something complicated. It takes a genius to make something simple. And I'm paraphrasing, but my mentor, he's made over $100 million. He always says it best. Don't look for a new presentation. Don't look for a new training. Look for a new audience. There's so much temptation to start changing things once you find something that works. Why? Because people get bored. People get naturally creative. And I would say anything that gets attention to the brand, if the system works, if the brand works, then simply build upon it. The only thing missing is people. All that's missing is locations, people. What do I mean by that? If I went to McDonald's and I said, we need to have square patties like Wendy's, and we're always changing. Okay, now, you know what? Now we need to have more ice cream. Now we need to have, this and that and so on and so forth. Or if you're from California, what if In-N-Out Burger, they said, oh yeah, we have to do this, we have to do that. And they're constantly changing the system. No, all In-N-Out does is one thing, expand. They don't add new product offerings. They don't do this. They have a system that works, and then they simply expand and duplicate and build new locations and then create the excitement for that. Same thing in this business, y'all, is that we're always looking for the answer that, except for the one that's right in front of us, which is spend 1 minute with 100 people, not 100 minutes with one person. Okay, guys. And I'm being super simple about this because that's what builds a business. You never know who's going to do what. And what I would do is once again, if you're talking to 2 to 3, if you're making 2 exposures a day, you should have enough of a follow-up within 90 days. And if you want to have even bigger success, double your rate of failure. You constantly talk to new people, and you have to have the mindset. Okay, that's the mindset right there. Why do we not talk to some people sometimes? Is because we're not fully sold out. We're not in belief mode. belief. My mentor once taught to me, he says, Nate, if you want to be real successful in this kind of business, you got to have a bear attitude. Well, what's a bear attitude? Bear stands for belief, enthusiasm, and action will equal results. Okay. Belief, enthusiasm, action will equal results. You put me in front of a room, we're excited, we're motivated. And you know what? Guess what? Because you know why? You're seeing that belief and you're seeing me emotionally transfer that belief to other people. Have you ever seen something logical and you're like, oh, this makes a lot of sense? Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. And sometimes it doesn't make it get over to the finish line. But when you see it live in person, you see someone passionate and articulate. They're just like, you know what? Or maybe not even articulate. Maybe they're even sloppy about it. But all you know is that they are super, super excited about whatever is going on. And doesn't it make you want to be a part of that? There has to be some excitement there. Some people say, well, I don't need enthusiasm. It's all logic. Well, then you're simply going on your own ego because I need the excitement. I want to be around excited people. And if you're just saying, well, this business works because of this, maybe you'll attract some people and that's good. But you'll get more by being more enthusiastic about what you have. I mean, imagine if you had one of your kids and they just won, a science fair. Imagine you're like, good job. You have an A, you'll now go to college. But then if you're excited about it, congratulations, you did unbelievable. I can't believe it. Let's go celebrate. How is that going to make them feel? How is that going to make them feel? It's like, oh, mom, dad, you're just hyping me up. That's a bunch of hype. I'm very no one thinks that way, guys. You gotta be excited about your wins. Why? Because why not? Why not be excited? When you have a sports game, I don't know what football team or whatever team that you might be into. Imagine it was just logic. Well, we just did that and we got our, we got our trophy at the very end. No, they're excited. And what happens when you're excited? The whole team's excited, the whole city excited, everyone is excited. So you got to have belief. You got to have enthusiasm. Once again, the last four letters of enthusiasm. I am sold myself. Action. That's the one that everyone misses. So they could have a lot of belief. Oh, I believe in this product. Enthusiasm. I'm super excited. Action. That's the one that everyone misses. And how do you get a lot of action? Sometimes you do need to be on this training. If you're not in promoting this training, if you're not promoting these things, that's why this is the once a week where we recognize, where we get people on here and get them excited for the week. Action. What if one story? Let me tell you one story. I had a friend of mine. They're both friends of mine. And I had one guy who hit the equivalent of master in that company. This had to be 10 or well over 10, maybe 15 years ago. And he hit the equivalent of master. And they did a recognition in their local area where this other guy was invited. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about this process because you never know where people are going to come from. Someone put up a flyer at UC Irvine, and that guy was going to UC Irvine at the time. And so he went over to this master, and my other friend, they didn't know each other at the time, but my other friend was crying and his parents were there. He's like, I can't believe it. My life was really not going well. I just out of a relationship, but I'm glad for this company and the recognition because I feel a lot better about life and I really feel like I could do stuff. My other friend, he saw that and said, you know what? If that guy can do it, I can do it. And to see the emotion involved. Imagine if he just said, I'm glad I hit this rank. No, he had his family there. He was excited and he had belief and excitement for the future. That person ended up coming on board and being one of the top 5 money earners in that company. Unbelievable. See, these are the stories, the excitement that we have. This is why I say it's worthwhile to build in your local marketplace. It's worthwhile to do that home meeting. Some people say, well, I want it to happen faster. The propensity to have things go faster and faster stops us. We say, we don't need to do a home meeting because, we have Zoom. I don't think that's the right mindset. You know why? Because what if I never went to that meetup group? What if I never got out of my comfort zone and just spent an hour meeting people? It's actually it was a fun group. I had a great, I'm glad I went. Have you ever done something you're like, I'm glad I went? What if I never posted because I thought, what if this picture is at the wrong angle? Then I never would have met Angel. And I'm going to meet Angel when I'm back down in LA and we're going to do meetings. And she hit master within the first 24 or 48 hours of her actually getting trained. And but am I stopping there? No. See, and that's where we stop. Is that where we stop staying in phase one? And if you don't know what phase one is constantly bringing in what? New customers and new affiliates. Guys, there's only two things. We made it $99. It's easier. The company is rock solid and just gets better and better and better. Why? Because our CEO, Eric Caparisi, and our VP, Benny Holcomb, care so much about the field. And you know, so amazing thing about them, they do what they say they're going to do. They're not just out there and just saying, oh, go do this, go do that. They're doing exactly what you're doing right now. And that's what makes Ion special, is that you have a company full of servant leaders who do all the simple stuff. Keep it super simple, easy to do, easy not to do. Spend 1 minute with 100 people, not 100 minutes with one person. See, just because we have some success with Angel, who is absolutely phenomenal, do you think I'm stopping there? No, I'm actually close to having another master that's about to promote. Why? Because consistency. When one person comes on board, I don't just stop doing my follow-ups. I don't just stop constantly exposing new people. Why? Because there's more people out there who want an opportunity like this. You know, I was looking at statistics. The median home price is ridiculous in the United States. And, you know, as we go into a global economy, so many things are happening. And, you know, an extra $500 a month can make a huge difference. Why is that, y'all? Is because the whole world is going global and we need additional cash flow sources. The whole world is changing. Having an e-commerce business that pays you around the world like Ion is unbelievable. It's the business of the future, y'all. It's the company of the future. And what I'm really teaching y'all is this, is to get back to the basics. What made you successful in the beginning? You know, that's the one hard talk that I had with myself. And I looked in the mirror, excuse me, I looked at the mirror and I said to myself, what made me successful 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 50 years, whatever it might be? How made me successful at that point? And it was really simple. I just had a burning desire, a willingness to work, and I was coachable. And I was talking to everyone I knew. Guys, we have no excuses. We have the perfect world scenario, in my opinion. We do have a perfect world scenario. We have the compensation plan of the future. We have everything in place. You got free shipping. You got everything. Everything you've ever wanted in a company is here at Ion. You got to be absolutely excited. You got to be on fire. Guys, this is unbelievable. And the more that you put it out there, the more sometimes people are like, I don't know what y'all are on, but I just want some of that excitement. Yeah. I just want some of that enthusiasm. I just want what y'all are having. And so imagine that if you're just logical, and of course you got to have some logic with it, but we took care of everything out there. Aren't you more attracted to the excitement? And if you're not, I'd say most people are. You don't believe me? Go out there go out there to your local events and so on and so forth. Notice it's all excitement. And people say, you know, and this is where I disagree. So I'm like, I don't want the hype. You know, the people who say that, they don't really build anything big. I need the hype. I need the rah rah. Imagine a football game with no excitement, no cheerleaders, no nothing. And then the other team, and then people are saying, oh, we don't need that. That's just hype. We have the best stats of anyone out there. No, sometimes you need that excitement. If it weren't for excitement and hype, there would be no sports movies. You know, there would be no, why, you know, why are we yelling Team USA? We're excited. We want our team to win. And we know that the collective voice of excitement and hype and enthusiasm, what does that do? Sometimes that's the slight edge that gets our team to victory, y'all. Why is it only in direct sales, only in network marketing, only in affiliate marketing, where we say, well, we need to just have the logic part? No team sport does that. No team sport just says, I just need to be logical about this stuff. No, they need excitement. And if you don't create that excitement in your organization, guess what? It's just winning an argument that's just not there. And so all my huge mentors said, you need to have the excitement. I'm excited, y'all. When I see a new person that is successful, I'm excited for them. Can you imagine if I just talked to a new person who's a new master and just said, good job, now get to icon? Aren't you just happy with the money? Aren't you happy that you got it? No. If I call them and say, oh my gosh, unbelievable, you just promoted. How do you feel? Oh, I'm excited. I just talked to these people. New people are naturally excited. Only veterans are the ones who goes, I'm a robot. I'm a robot. And you know what? That doesn't work anymore. It never worked actually. You need to have that excitement. Why? Because if you're not excited, I'm not excited. You see, I need to be around people who are excited, who are motivated. And some of y'all know I do big events, huge events, incredibly big events. Imagine if I told everyone, don't clap, don't be excited. Don't be excited for candidate number one. Why? Just go completely on the logic. Go completely on their walk technique. Go completely on their speech technique. No one does that in the real world, guys. Be excited. When I go get new customers, I say it's the most unbelievable thing out there. And guess what? I promise once you try this product, you're gonna love it. And you know what? If you buy right now, you're gonna get some free shipping because you always get free shipping. And that's what gets people say, oh, Nate, I don't know what it is, but all right, I'll just buy it just because you like it. If you like it that much, I'm buying your emotion, so I want to buy this product. Why? Because whatever you think, it's just so good. You've just made it seem so good. I'll get it. And you know what? Here's the thing about having product go out there. The best product doesn't matter if no one's taking it. I'm gonna say it again. The best product doesn't matter if no one's taking it. The best product doesn't matter if no one knows about it. The best products don't matter if it's not getting in people's hands. Have you noticed that the best promoters out there are the ones who are out there getting excited and putting in people's hands? And to go back on the original thought when I was talking about home meetings, something small will end up being something big. We're always looking for some reason shortcuts. And yes, for 1% of people out there, I will say this, for 1% of people out there, someone will figure out some sort of system, but you know what? That whole organization will be built on people who are essentially sharing it belly to belly. It's sharing it with friends and family and also utilizing the online, doing both at the same time. And it may seem slower. Like, Nate, what if I could just send them a video in a Zoom? But you know what? That's logic. The video is logic. You know what has people come on board when they do a three-way call? Why? Because they can hear the excitement in my voice. They can hear the excitement in Eric's voice and everyone who's on this call, all the people who are on this call and all the teams everywhere. You can hear the excitement in your voice. And you say, you know what? I get the logic part, but because of you and your leadership, you sold me. If we're all about logic, and this is what proves my point, why do they need us? Why do businesses need us if it's all about logic? You need promoters. Some of the best companies out there have huge promoters. And you know why home meetings and all these on the ground is great? Because people are social creatures, y'all. If it were all about logic, why do we, let's take the spiritual part out. Why do you need religious gatherings? Don't you feel fired up? Don't you feel better once I know I do. Once you go to your church once a week, you get with other people who are like-minded and they're rejoicing the same way that you do. And, you have a leader there who's having and say, hey, let's get to your connect groups. Make sure you have your connect groups during the week. And so that way you can keep each other motivated, keep each other supported, and so on and so forth. We are social creatures. If it were all about logic, then none of this really matters in the first place. I'm trying to have you realize that this business is far less complicated than you think. Okay, it is. It really is. Just be you and have these gatherings and listen to the leadership. Why? Because that small home meeting that you did, yeah, it might take a little bit longer, but you know what happens? You'll actually have people stay longer, and you'll have people, and if they stay longer and they're loving the product and they're excited, they're going to tell their friends and family about it. And soon momentum will kick in. But momentum will not kick in if you're always logical about everything. So you're going to have a little bit of that. And what do I mean by the logic part's taken care of? Once again, are the products coming in? Are they high quality? Are they products which you believe in? Is the leadership sound? Is everything sound? If yes, if we're paying on time every single week and sometimes even early, if all that is happening, then all we need is you to be having a burning desire, a willingness to work, and are coachable. All we need is for you to spend 1 minute with 100 people, not 100 minutes with one. And you know what? You get 100 people in a local marketplace, me, Eric, Danny, Holly, we're all flying over there and we're going to recognize you. Imagine that. Imagine if me, Benny, and Eric said, we don't need to have an event there. Let's just call you and say, good job. No, you want to have a rally. Some of the, regards to the politics, some of the best, most exciting presidential campaigns always have rallies. You got to get people together, guys. And that's what's going to motivate you to do one more. That's all this is. Zig Ziglar said it best. Motivation doesn't last, but so doesn't a shower. Doesn't mean you just showered once, right? So it's not just a singular event. You got to keep on going. You got to keep planting the seeds. You got to plant the seeds until you have a harvest. Now, here's the last thing I'm going to leave you with, and it's that story of the farmer. I love this story of the farmer because it's so applicable to everything. Now, I know I repeat this story a lot, but it's because, once again, if you master the basics, you're going to win. If you just teach people how to become master, you're going to win so much. This business is all about just creating as many masters as possible and duplicating it down the process. That's really all it is. And so the story of the farmer is really, really simple. Essentially, after you got the training, after you've got all of that, and so on and so forth, guess what? All you're doing is planting the seeds. Now, you have this one huge seed. Okay? It looks like it's going to be the biggest plant out there, but it doesn't grow. And no matter how much you talk to it and you yell at that seed, why aren't you growing? You put music, you put Mozart, you put all these things that you see online. If I only did this, the seed will grow. If I only do that, the seed will grow. I don't think that way. Why? Because if the seeds will grow, if I'm watering that seed, that's all I really need to do. I've done my responsibility. I've done my part. What is the best thing to do? Put in another seed. Oh, you got this little small seed. You plant that seed. And what happens when you plant that seed? And you just water it. Suddenly, out of nowhere, it's growing. It's growing by leaps and bounds. It's growing faster than anything you've ever seen. The roots are getting deep. But wait, the last seed I put in, that big fat seed that I put into the ground, no matter what I did, it was just such a huge seed. I thought it was going to do everything I wanted. I thought all the corn that I was trying to harvest from this, it was all going to come from that one seed, but nothing's happening. And how is it that this other seed, I put a little bit of water and I kind of ignored it maybe a little bit. Guess what? It grew faster than the other seed. Y'all getting this, guys? But even though that seed is growing strong, I'm still planting seeds. That's what the farmer does. Now, will birds come? Yeah. Will birds peck at the big seeds, at the small seeds, at the big plants, at the small plant? Yeah, it's going to happen. But what will get you unmotivated? What if you relied only on that one seed and suddenly the bird comes? Then suddenly you go from phase 1 to phase 4. Phase 4 is what? Blame game. The company doesn't work. Something doesn't work. If you want to find positives, and this is everything in life, from relationships, if you want to find something negative, you'll find the negatives. If you want to find the positives, you will find the positives. What is the moral of this entire training? Plant seeds. If you have a field of 100 seeds, if a bird comes and takes one seed, you're okay. But if you have only 2 seeds planted and a bird comes and takes one seed, it's going to make you angry. It's going to make you frustrated. And so that's why I'm trying to say is that Life gets better when you consistently emotionally detach yourself from anything that's going on and continuously plant seeds. What does a farmer do? Plant seeds, water the soil, make sure it's on fertile soil. What do I mean by that? You've given the training, you're constantly promoting the trainings, and if you can't do it, invite them to leaders who can train them, who can get them on a three-way call, can get excited that way. That's all this business is. You're essentially planting those seeds, making sure it's on fertile soil, and you're watering it once in a while. But you don't wait. You don't wait for it to grow. You continuously plant seeds. And sometimes, even as leaders, I'm going to conclude with this. Even as leaders, we forget that. We do. If you really want to, my mentor, his name was Jeff, he said, you really want something to be huge, 20 to 30 exposures a day. That's a guarantee. But if you're part-time, 2 exposures a day, meaning that you're just planting 2 seeds a day, 2 seeds a day. If you want to have something huge happen extremely fast overnight, 20 to 30 exposures a day. Can't do that yet? That's okay. 2 exposures a day on a part-time basis can make a big difference. And you got to be honest with yourself, meaning that if you looked at your calendar today, okay, if you look at your calendar today, do you have at least 2 follow-ups every day? Do you have 2 exposures every day? If no, then that's why your business isn't growing. And at least you're conscious of it. That's the big thing. We never get upset. We simply do what we can do. Don't worry about controlling others. Don't worry about dragging people over the finish line. Just concentrate on what you can do. Act as if you're the only person in your organization that first year. Just plant the seeds. The more seeds you plant, the more excited you'll be, the more you'll feel a lot better. Once again, if you plant 1 seed and a bird goes and takes it, it's going to upset you. It's going to make you feel emotional, but that's what leadership is there for. Because eventually, I was the same way too. And eventually, if you can get that motivation and if you can get something might trigger some action in life, something might happen where you just simply say, I have had it. I have this moment of disgust and I just want to plant seeds all day. If you can do that, no matter what happens, no matter what negative thing happens, you're going to be still going out there with reckless abandon. Have you ever had someone that you're following up with and suddenly some bird comes and says, oh, that's a stupid business. That product doesn't work. And it kind of takes them out of the running. If you're only following it with one person, that can happen. And imagine that was a 2-week process of them saying, I promise I'll come in. I promise I'll hit master. I'll promise I'll do something. Lead with the feet, not with the lips. My mentor taught it to me the best. Lead with the feet and not with the lips. All you got to do is continuously plant seeds, continuously get people to master, continuously plant seeds, continuously get people to master, and then celebrate them. Celebrate them. And it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can be a backyard barbecue. It can be a local thing at the coffee shop. I prefer the backyard barbecue. Why? Because it's your home. It's their home. It's something comfortable. And you know what? As you bring people around to get recognized, you know what's going to happen? Their friends and family they're like, wow, this thing's actually working for you. Oh, I didn't know there was an affiliate program. Sign me up. Any successful organization has always done this. They've done seed planting. They've planted themselves in different places. They've built communities in different places. That's what it's all about, y'all. If I can make this business super simple, once again, plant the seeds. The more seeds you plant, the more you won't worry about the birds. The more seeds you plant, the more you'll be able to follow up in a week or 2 from now. The more that you do these things, the more your business will be successful. And you know what? You'll get to the point where you're promoting a new master every single day. And you're not going to be able to hear the complaints or hear people who are making complaints that aren't really affecting anybody else. I'm not talking, if there's a legitimate complaint, that's different. I'm talking about complaints where it's like, well, other people don't have that issue. It's just someone who's overthinking too much. You're going to be so busy promoting new masters and working with excited people that it's just really up to them. Why do we listen to people who overly complain about, you don't have this system, you don't have that, you don't have that? It's because you don't have other seeds planted. That's the honest truth. If you don't have a lot of seeds in the ground and you have a lot of seeds without those other things going on, you're going to concentrate only on that one seed. And that's what creates a little bit of non-excitement. That's what creates you to be in phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. If you want to stay in phase one, if you stay in phase one, you keep on going wide. That's how you're going to build a massive business. I'm excited that Angel hit master. I'm excited that I'm about to have another master pop as well. And you know what? Am I going to stop there? No, I'm going to find more people who do that. And so that way, I don't worry about the ones who are complaining about pretty much nothing. Because if it is a genuine complaint, then other people wouldn't be having success. So how do you save your mindset? How do you make sure you build this business big? Once again, keep planting the seeds. Don't worry about the words. Everything is the birds. Everything's easy to do, easy not to do. You got to go out there with reckless abandon and continuously plant those seeds, get people motivated, get people excited, utilize the online tools, but also make sure get into your local marketplace, because you know why? That's where people can feel the excitement. And when people feel the excitement, guess what? You'll build leadership. You'll build what we call duplication. You're going to build momentum. You're going to have so many people have on board. Last thing I want to say is that why local marketplaces are so important. I remember some of these big juice companies 10 years ago. If you notice where all these huge rank ups were happening, a lot of it were concentrated in different areas, meaning that when one so-called black diamond would come up, there was like 5 black diamonds in the same area. Why? Because they're all together in the community and they're excited. The fire is there. And there was so much excitement. Guess what? There's so much excitement that guess what happened? Everyone's like, I don't know what's going on. I just know my friends are doing it. My friends, family are doing it. I just want to be on board too. And you know what? Because they're on board, they're now experiencing the product. The best product doesn't matter if no one knows about it, if no one's taking it, if no one's, seeing it. And so this is my thing to you, is that if you want to have a raucous 2024, start today. Anything you do today, you're going to feel 60 to 90 days from now. I promise it's worth it. Guys, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of everyone who's on this call. It's a good 45 minutes. I wanted to really get to the basics. The basics work. Emotionally detaching yourself from the extra stuff works. And if you can do that, you're going to build an incredible business. And if you need help, give me a call. Add me on Facebook. Send me a message. I want to work with you. I want to recognize you. I want to help motivate your group. And so we could spur that into action. Because that's why I truly believe that ION is the greatest thing out there with all of the greatest leadership. I am unreasonable about that. Someone can come in and says, well, I think this. No, I am unreasonable about the success when it comes to business. That's why I'm bulletproof. And I want you to be bulletproof too. With that, guys, my name is Nate Kalima out here in Bonifacio Global City in Taguig, Philippines. Thank you guys for being on here. Let's get this recording. Let me see how I can help you and serve you. God bless, guys. Thank you.